'69 Gators were the end of it. And the '69 Gators, you didn't have that. You guys were sophomores, and you didn't have a carry-on, or you didn't have a 2 or 3 years, or even a more decade of carry-on of this special magic, this special chemistry, this wonderfully exciting brand of football that you guys played, because there was a brutal coaching change, as Mac has alluded to, that the wheels were set in motion before you guys ever threw that 70-yard bomb against Houston. And I want to address it because, and I think that tragedy, if you will, is a special part of the '69 Gators, and I refer to the '69 Gators as a Cinderella team, and it was a true Cinderella team in that the clock literally did strike 12, and it literally all came to an end on December 28th, 1969. And I'll just kind of throw it out to you, and the way I remember it, because I lived it firsthand, and in this game with Tennessee, which was already, it was Florida versus Tennessee, so it was a bad blood game to begin with. A lot of bickering, if I remember correctly. Some of the Tennessee players, Steve Kiner in particular, had bad things to say about John, had negative things to say about Tommy Durrance. Generally, the Gators in general. You guys were once again the big underdogs. Tennessee was Tennessee; they were SEC regular season champion. So it was a backdrop of bad blood. It was a backdrop of once again Davids versus Goliaths, and you were the Davids. And days before the game, news broke that there would be a coaching change at Florida, and Coach Graves would step down, and Tennessee coach Doug Dickey would take over Florida. And I remember as a child, I said to my father, I said I saw denial. It was denied officially, and my father was talking about it, and he said, I said, well, Daddy, that's not going to happen because everybody said it's not going to happen. And I remember my father said, son, there's something's going on, or it wouldn't be this much talk about it. But anyway, against that backdrop, you guys went out there to play the game for Coach Gene Ellenson, and you thought that you could win that game for him. And I just want to read something from Mike Kelly that I found, some of the research, and I think it's a very appropriate quote from Mike. I mean, I think it defines the innocence, this innocent, youthful exuberance that you guys had. And Kelly said that we knew we were playing, and Mike Kelly was the MVP of the game. Had 3 turnovers, 11 tackles, a bunch of sacks. We knew we were playing for today. We were playing for our coaches, especially Coach Ellenson. That's why we carried him off the field and gave him the game ball. We wanted to make sure people knew how the players felt. I'm glad I had a chance today to contribute something to show how the players feel about Coach Ellenson and Coach Pancoast. And the way they felt and the way you guys did, you delivered. You got it done. David beat Goliath 14-13. So, and then as we all know, the next day, December 28th, in the aftermath of the celebration, there was a coaching change at Florida, and everything that had been rumored came true.
My eyes were open, and it was never the same after that. Is the way I would describe it, because we were told they were going to stay. But then Mac, as Mac told us, the deal was already made.
It was one of those political deals. I mean, we see it every day in politics now. It's, a deal was cut, but the people who cut the deal just deny, feeling that it's in the best interest of the program to deny it at the time. Well, who in their wildest dreams would have thought when Steve O'Connell and Doug Dickey and Ray Graves were talking in the summer of 1969 that we'd end up playing them in the Gator Bowl? I mean, it was a perfect storm.
Perfect. Hollywood doesn't come up with that.
In a negative way. And, right up to the day of the game, President O'Connell, I went down and talked to him, and I said, what's the deal here? This is what we're hearing. That Coach Dickey's going to be the coach of the Gators. And he said, Coach Ellenson's got as good a shot at it as anybody. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be the way it was. But there was no way that he could be honest at that point, the day before the game. How do you do that? How do you do that? Everybody got caught in a real difficult spot.
It's funny because John and I really hadn't talked about it for years, but my reaction would be exactly the same what John just said. I lost my innocence when that happened. To me, college football was such a family because we had such a family feel to the 69 Gators. And, you know, when we were there as freshmen in 68, Coach Ellenson had talked, you know, when he talked about the Battle of the Bulge and about brotherhood, about, you know, you're there together. I had bought into that. And I still buy into that because I don't think that that was fake, what we had in 69, and the way the players and the coaches felt for each other. And remember, I'm a Cuban kid that loved baseball and moved into football, and now I'm in this realm, and I'm in the college football realm, which I didn't really understand really well. I thought the way the 69 team was the way things always are. And I always felt for Lindy and Fanny, or Fred Pankos, for these guys, Lindy and Fanny recruited me. I felt they were like family to me. Bubba McGowan, my position coach, they're like family to me. And when this happened, I was shocked because I thought I had been told this was not happening, or it would be done a different way. I was shocked. And of course, I know I created a great deal of controversy because I went out and said exactly when the first newspaper guy called me and asked me about it, I said exactly what I thought. Because I thought, how else can you feel? You know, you've been, this sort of rug has been slipped out from under you, and they're attacking your family. And I went after them because they were attacking my family. And it's really the only, that's the way I reacted. And then I really saw the other side of college football, which hopefully gets de-emphasized, but there is a huge business side to it. And I know, you know, maybe, you know, living in Disney World here or something, but I really thought college football was more the other side, not the business side. And frankly, I didn't like the business side.
Well, guys, we've told the story. We're going to retreat back to the V room and have dinner. I hope all of you will join us. We'll have more great stories because there's a lot more. I want to end the show with a quote from Coach Gene Ellenson. We wanted to beat the SEC champions. We wanted to have the best record at Florida. We wanted to send the seniors off with the best days of their lives, with the greatest memories of their lives. Mac, Larry, John, Carlos, thanks for joining us for your first-hand historical perspective of one of the greatest Gator seasons of all. Yet history teaches us that all glory is fleeting. The magic of the 1969 season only lasted 1 year, but what a year it was.
Thank you.